A guy sneaks into the airplane restroom, quickly locks the door, and pulls out some tape, stretching it to a foot. He sticks it to the plane's body and rips it off by hand. The first piece goes smoothly, then he sticks on the second. Next, he pulls out a red and white box with a rectangular metal object on top, and pulls out a handgun. The guy sits on the toilet and pulls out the stuff from the box. It's a pack of cigarettes. He's lighting up a smoke on the plane, which is totally illegal. Turns out he just disabled the smoke detector. For 25 years, he's pulled this off without ever getting caught. After finishing his cigarette, he heads back to his seat and suddenly gets a message. Smoking on the plane is illegal. He's a bit confused. Are there cameras in the restroom? But he doesn't worry about getting punished. Then he gets another message with a bank account number, demanding he wire $1.5 billion and set his watch for a 20-minute countdown. Every 20 minutes, a passenger dies on the plane, but the guy isn't worried. He smirks, already knowing who the mysterious person is. He calls over his colleague saying, "How can you still be playing these childish pranks?" The colleague looks confused, asking what prank. The guy shows him the text, and the colleague quickly insists he didn't send it, even pulling out his own phone for proof. That's when the guy realizes there's someone else behind this. What's even more serious is that the message came through the Air Marshal channel. Turns out, both of them are FBI Air Marshals, tasked with blending in as regular passengers to spot potential threats. Their identities are top secret. Even the crew doesn't know who they really are. The guy's name is Bill Marks, and he approaches the captain to reveal his identity. The captain can't confirm if it's a real threat, so he immediately tells the TSA to check all passenger lists. Meanwhile, the plane is over the Atlantic, and diverting to the nearest airport will take 95 minutes, but they're just 10 minutes away from that first 20-minute mark. On the plane, there's a hijacker hiding, and Bill decides to take action. He finds a familiar flight attendant, Nancy, and a nearby passenger, Jean, who was asleep when he got the message, clearing her of suspicion. Bill continues to text the hijacker, instructing them to watch the screen and identify who's on their phone. As Bill plays cat and mouse with the hijacker, he notices that his colleague Jack keeps texting. He corners Jack in the restroom, demanding to check his phone again. But Jack panics and says, "I can give you a cut of the money." It becomes clear that the hijacker is Jack. They immediately get into a struggle, and in the chaos, Jack tries to pull a gun. In a moment of desperation, Bill sends Jack to meet his maker. He locks the restroom door and hides the body, thinking it's all over. But then another message pings. The hijacker knows about the murder. Bill realizes he's been set up. The hijacker is using him to eliminate threats. The first victim turns out to be someone he killed himself. The hijacker threatens him. If the money isn't transferred, someone else will die in the next 20 minutes. Bill urgently asks the captain for the passenger list results, but the captain reveals that the account is under Bill's name and asks if there have been any deaths yet. Unable to confess about Jack, Bill grimly insists there are no casualties and hands over his badge and gun. The cop turns out to be dirty. Bill checks Jack's phone and discovers that the hijacker knows about Jack's drug smuggling, which is why he's being blackmailed. The earlier talk about splitting the money was actually about drug money. When he opens Jack's suitcase, it's packed full of drugs. Bill reveals his identity to all the passengers, claiming that due to new regulations from the transportation department, he needs to conduct random checks. He uses this opportunity to search the passengers he flagged earlier. One young guy is uncooperative, raising Bill's suspicions. When Bill grabs him to check his phone, he finds a ton of pictures of attractive women, which explains his nervousness. Then Bill notices a guy in glasses in the corner. Earlier, he had chatted with Bill at the airport, claiming he was heading to Amsterdam, but this flight is going to London. Bill pulls him up and demands to know what he's doing there. The glasses guy Tom hurriedly explains that someone paid him $100 to get flight information about Bill, insisting he doesn't know anything else. It seems he's not the hijacker. Bill ties his hands and makes him sit in the back. As the 20 minutes pass, the hijacker sends a message. "I never said the target was a passenger, Just then, the plane suddenly jolts with severe turbulence. Bill rushes to the cockpit, only to find the captain convulsing and foaming at the mouth, looking like he's been poisoned. He calls for the doctor on board, but the doctor can't help. The hijacker sends a message, taunting him about how exciting it is, warning that if this continues, all passengers will die. Bill asks the co-pilot what happened and learns that no one entered the cockpit and the captain didn't drink anything. It's puzzling. How did the hijacker pull this off? Bill instructs the co-pilot to lock the cockpit door and not to open it for anyone. With 2 people already dead, Bill reports the situation to the command center, urging them to transfer the money to buy time. As long as the plane stays in the air, he has a chance to find the hijacker. But the command center suspects it's all a setup by Bill and refuses to negotiate with terrorists. Just when Bill feels cornered, John introduces him to Zoc, a senior programmer from Silicon Valley who can track phones. After some quick setup, Bill asks all passengers to raise their hands. A message goes out, and 5 seconds later, one man's phone rings. Bill aims his gun at him, but the man claims the phone isn't his. Before Bill can press further, the man also starts foaming at the mouth and collapses. Bill feels overwhelmed, watching 3 people die right in front of him without a single lead. He heads to the restroom to smoke and calm down. This plane is so strange. It's a sealed space, yet all the smoke drifts towards the cardboard box. Bill tears open the outer packaging and finds a small hole that provides a view of the cabin. Digging through the trash can, he pulls out a syringe resembling a blow dart. Inspecting the man's body, he finds a matching needle. This is the hijacker's weapon. He asks an elderly man sitting next to the restroom if anyone has been inside. The old man replies that only Jean has gone in. Bill directly questions Jean about why she switched seats before takeoff, sitting next to him on purpose. His words show his wariness of her. Jean reluctantly reveals the truth. She had heart bypass surgery, and the doctor warned her that her heart could stop at any moment. She wanted to sit by the window to enjoy the view before she dies. Seeing the scar on Jen's chest, Bill realizes he misjudged her and quickly brings her a glass of wine, apologizing for his suspicion. With only one lead left, the phone they found during the search, Jean randomly tries a few passwords and unexpectedly, one of them triggers a bomb alert. With strict airport security, no one should be able to bring a bomb on board, unless... Bill immediately opens Jack's suitcase and discovers a timed bomb hidden beneath the drugs. The hijacker had clearly planned this out. Bill locks the restroom door, but as he steps out, he's surrounded by several strongmen. It turns out that just moments ago, the news reported that Bill had hijacked a plane, complete with damning video footage from passengers. The evidence is incriminating. The news describes Bill as a drunkard now working as an air marshal, and people believe he's the hijacker. They restrain him, pinning him to the ground. With no way to move, Bill has to shout that there's a timed bomb in the restroom. Just then, Tom in glasses picks up the gun from the floor and demands that everyone let Bill go. He asks Bill what's going on. Bill explains the situation with the hijacker and admits the reports are true. He lost his family and drinks every day. He even had to drink before getting on this flight.
Daughter was diagnosed with acute leukemia at the age of 5.
He can't go home. He's terrified of watching her die. He says he's not a good dad or a good person, but he swears he didn't hijack this plane. Why would he use his own bank account for this? Bill pleads for their help to find the real hijacker. Among the crowd, a New York police officer decides to give him the benefit of the doubt, and Bill tells the officer to untie Tom. The bomb on the plane is about to explode, so Bill quickly strategizes. He plans to implement an untested bomb resistance protocol from air traffic control, which involves placing the bomb in the rear cargo hold, and use the weight of the luggage to minimize its explosive power. If they can descend to 8,000 feet, they might have a chance of survival. With no solid leads, Bill prepares for the worst and hands a sidearm to the police officer for protection. Passengers begin to bury the bomb with various bags, packing as much as they can around it, and concentrating everything in the front of the plane. For now, the situation inside the cabin stabilizes, but outside, fighter jets are already flying alongside, providing an escort. Bill asks the co-pilot to lower the altitude, but the co-pilot has received orders not to make any moves without instructions, putting him in a tough spot. At that moment, Bill gets a call from the command center, informing him that the money has been transferred and urging him to stand down. Bill deliberately puts the call on speakerphone, ensuring the hijacker hears it too. He requests a descent, but is firmly denied, with a warning that if he doesn't surrender, they will shoot the plane down. Bill notices that the young guy is still recording video. Furious, he snatches the phone away and reviews the footage. To his shock, he sees Tom in glasses passing by a passenger and slipping his phone into the passenger's clothing. Tom in glasses is the hijacker. He removes his glasses, grabs the police officer's sidearm, and points it at the officer's head. The officer struggles free but fires, only to find the gun is empty. Bill finally reveals where the bullets are. As the officer rushes to retrieve them, the programmer Zoc suddenly steps forward, takes the gun, loads it, and shoots the officer. To Bill's shock, Zoc and Tom are the hijackers after all. They now have control over everyone. Bill argues that the money is in his name, and if something happens to him, the account will be frozen. But Zoc smirks, explaining that it's just a trust fund in Bill's name. Once Bill dies, the money will automatically transfer to over 100 accounts spread around the world. Zoc pulls out parachuting gear, saying that if they drop to 8,000 feet, they can jump out and escape. Bill warns them that the military has ordered the plane to be shot down if it descends. The over 100 passengers on the plane will definitely be sacrificed compared to the many people on the ground. The military will prioritize the safety of those on the ground. The only option left to do is to disarm the bomb. Zoc thinks it over, realizing he needs to stay alive to get the money, so he decides to focus on disarming the bomb. But just then, Tom shoots Zoc, revealing that he's an antisocial personality who never intended to leave alive. To him, security is the biggest lie in the country. No one is safe anywhere, and Bill embodies that lie. Just as Tom is about to pull the trigger, the co-pilot suddenly initiates a descent. Tom shoots at the window, causing an instant loss of cabin pressure. Chaos erupts with screams filling the air, and debris swirling around as Bill tightens his seatbelt. In that critical moment, the shattered window breaks even wider, and all the oxygen masks drop down. The co-pilot continues the descent, while the meal cart floats toward Bill. Amidst the chaos, Tom keeps firing. Bill grabs the floating handgun and successfully sends him to his end. Zoc, still looking for a way to escape, finds himself grabbed by Bill, who slams him into the back of the plane. With just 7 seconds left before the bomb explodes, Bill yells for everyone to get down. Zoc is killed instantly as chaos erupts in the cabin. The tail of the plane sustains severe damage, and the engine explodes. The co-pilot deploys the landing gear, doing everything possible to ensure a smooth landing. However, the outer wall of the plane begins to crack, and the girl is nearly blown out. She screams as Jeanne unbuckles her seatbelt. Bill, seeing the girl resembling his late daughter, grabs her tightly, determined not to let go this time. Finally, the plane comes to a stop, and the emergency slide deploys. Passengers rush out one by one. As 5 trucks arrive on the scene, everyone including the crew is safe thanks to Bill's heroism. He redeems himself, proving he's not a hijacker but a true hero. He expresses his gratitude to Jeanne for all her help during the flight, hinting at a budding romantic connection between them, and that's the end. This movie is called Non-Stop. It's packed with suspense and thrilling scenes, super exciting. I definitely recommend checking out the original. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. See you next time, bye.